A very warm welcome to the Creative Dealmaker podcast. I'm Carl Allen, I'm your host, and I'm going to be interviewing expert guests sharing investor strategies that will completely and utterly disrupt the market when it comes to buying and selling businesses all over the world.
Carl, can we talk about some of the new stuff we're doing?
Yeah,
Right, some
cool. Go ahead.
coming down the pipeline. Yeah.
Go
One
ahead.
of the things that I've been working on pretty much every day for the last month, and we should be finished with it pretty soon, is this new program specifically around consulting for equity. I mean, that's such a huge thing that's growing in interest. And just for anybody who is listening who may not know exactly what that is, I mean, it's really learning how to do what you do best, but do it as a partner in a business rather than working for someone else. I mean, if you have the ability to solve a bleeding problem for a business or a business owner, there's ways to position yourself to get them to offer you equity to be a partner to solve that problem rather than just hire you as a consultant, a freelancer, or as a W-2 employee. And there's so many people, I think, coming out of COVID, Carl, who just saw that there's a better way
Yeah.
to live life. You have all these people, we call it the Great Resignation, where you had more people quit their jobs than ever before back in 2020, 2021, searching for maybe a new life, maybe alternative job markets, business ownership, the benefits of business ownership. And a lot of them have fallen flat on their face. A lot of people are having to get back to reality and go back to work and get a paycheck, especially with cost of living and inflation going up like it is. There's a better way to do that than try to start a business or go drive for Uber or Instacart. And that is just really understand the concept of how to position yourself and how to find the right businesses where they're in the mindset of collaboration, looking for solutions to these bleeding problems and be their savior at that point and be able to do it in a way that's not slimy or salesy, but instead it's very magnetic. And that's what I teach specifically. That's what you teach. And we're coming out with a course called the Equity Partner. So it's going to be pretty exciting. Hey man, you look like you're in heaven right now with your
I
screen.
know there's this beautiful time in the morning because it's like 8:55 a.m. Austin time right now, and the sun. There's a little panel of glass in that corner where there's no blind, where the sun just comes in, and I feel very holy when this happens. It'll be gone in a few minutes. It's just my 5 minutes a day. That's why I bought the throne chair. Like I just feel like holy when I'm doing this. But going back to what you just talked about. Like this is really interesting because if I look at our Dealmaker Protege community, like I think we have like, I don't know, 1,000 people in the community now. So what's really cool about that inner circle mentorship group is about a third of the people that come in want to be owner operators, right? So they're in a W-2, they want to get their hands dirty, they want to run the business, right? You and I don't do that. But that's a third of our members. Another third of our members want to be owner investors. So they want to build portfolios like you and I. They want to do lots of deals or they want to do roll-ups. We'll talk about roll-ups in a minute. And then another third, they don't want to be like the owner investor or the owner operator. They want to be a consulting for equity partner. So they want to have 5 or 10 or 20 different businesses that they have a meaningful investment in, 10 to 50% or whatever is negotiated. And then what's really interesting about that is they're deploying a really powerful skill set or a superpower, as we call it, that they have. They might be incredible at marketing like you. They might be a real badass CFO. They might be a deal maker where, let's say you've got a business owner wants to scale by acquisition, doesn't know how to do it, or doesn't want to come into a program like Protege and learn because they're busy running their business and they have other commitments. They'd rather outsource that to somebody that can take a share of the business and then run the process. I know we've got Toby in our program who's incredible with supply chain and goes into engineering companies and deploys that. So one of the things you said when I first heard you speak about this, it was at an upper echelon mastermind last year. You said you gave a presentation on this and like the jaws, you could hear the jaws hitting the floor when you were talking. And one of the things you said that has lived with me till this day is you said that I hope I'm not like letting the cat out of the bag, but you said your magic phrase that you say to a business owner to get equity in their deals, when they ask you, say, hey, Chris, you're an amazing marketer, I need you to come consult for me. You say this, I only consult for businesses that I own. I only consult for businesses that I own. I love that, right? Where did that come from? Like that's like one of the most powerful statements I've ever seen in a negotiation. Like, where did that come from? Did that just come out of your mouth one day when you were in a negotiation? Like, where did it come from?
No, no, it came from many years of making people rich. It came from many years of being the magic dust or the secret sauce in somebody else's recipe. And I think it came from the realization one day of finding that, okay, the reason why these have been successful in most part is because of my contributions, yet somebody else is getting all the upside. And I realized at that point, a lot of them were JV deals, or maybe I was a very minority partner in projects as a freelancer. But I realized what I had access to. I realized what I was worth. And I realized at that moment that I never wanted to really work for someone ever again. I never wanted to make somebody else wealthy. I never wanted to build somebody else's business for an exit without being able to get part of the upside. So I just decided one day I'm no longer for sale. I'm no longer for hire. And
Love it.
through, this equity partner angle, Carl, is what we're teaching on. And it's the concept of getting people to offer you equity. It's all about the concept of learning how to find the exact business owners that have bleeding problems that you can solve, finding them in the right mindset of collaboration, looking for help, seeking help, not finding some random older gentleman in a wood paneled office filled with smoke who's never had a partner in his life who would probably try to shoot you if you asked for equity, but instead have people approach you and want to work with you and say, what has to be true for us to work together? Or I saw what you did over there. I saw the problems that you're solving. I see the success you're having. How can we do that together? How can you come work for me? And having that magnetic moment where someone needs you, someone wants you, someone's looking for you to add value in their business, it's so natural to just plant the seed and say, listen, I only work in businesses I own. Happy to have that conversation, but that's really the only way I work. And at that point, you're training people to offer you equity. You're not going to have someone come back to you and try to hire you. You're not going to have someone come back and hire you as a consultant, but it's all about stating the way that you'll work. And it works like a charm, man. And what we'll
Yeah.
teach inside the equity partner is all about the entire process, not just the equity partner angle of how to get people to offer you equity, but also a lot of different other ways that you can leverage this same skill in different types of deal making. So I'm glad that you're collaborating with me on the content. We also have
Yeah.
our Dan Giordano, who's also been on your podcast,
Yep.
going to work
Yep.
with us on it. And I truly believe the sizable, like the total addressable market for this is it's as big, if not a little bigger than traditional business acquisition, because
I think it's 10 times bigger.